Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode, on-location episode of On the Range podcast. We're here at the American Tactical Canine Association Conference 2024. I am Mark Kelley, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg from Hogg Tactical. How's it going, pal?
Man, Mark, it's going great. Just want to thank the viewers listening out there for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. Guys, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a rating review on whatever platform. Help us beat this big tech algorithm. But really, I'm super excited for today because we've got a fantastic guest.
Yes, sir.
So my friend Chris Burns from C&G Holsters. Chris, I don't know, we've known each other for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
Good Christian guy, fantastic company. But I want to bring Chris on, talk a couple things. He's got a new line of holsters coming out. But really, Chris, you went out and did some hurricane relief for the good folks out there in Western North Carolina. Really, let's touch on that a little bit and just kind of your experiences and things you saw out there with that.
I try to do a little bit of morning prayer every morning, and I felt like God was putting NC on my heart. And I sit down for my coffee, and I normally don't even look at social media on purpose, especially right now with all the controversy with everything. I want my peace in the morning. So I open it up, and the first post that I see was Jamie Caldwell talking about a list of everything, the supplies that you could send. And I kind of looked up, and I was like, okay, I get it. So I reached out to Jamie, and Jamie connected me up with Christian Ministries. They're helping to supply the foods and the supplies for everybody. And contacted them, and fast forward, I just filled my truck up, and I decided I was just going to try to head down and drop something
Unbelievable,
off.
Yeah, man.
And and just in that in itself, my wife, she communicated with her women's group through our church, and Jamie's sister gave some money too. And we had, I filled my truck up completely overflowing between everybody at C&G and everybody just jumping in, and it was great. And then Jamie kind of connected me with a couple guys that were trying to get a group together, do some search and recovery, because all the things you're seeing, I will tell you firsthand, it's true. The government is not helping. And they are trying to do what it appears to be is everything that they can to stop private citizens from just trying to join in and help each other. Mm-hmm. And so we went down there. Driving down there was an eye-opener for me. It truly looked like God took a broom and just completely wiped away towns. Took the grass, everything. And then you see it all up in the trees later on as you're driving because it all got washed into somewhere else. It is heartbreaking. Yeah. There's towns that just don't exist.
Yeah,
it's in a not a good way amazing to see.
Wow.
Now, Chris, when you were going out there, did you run into any FEMA backlash, any FEMA turnaround, any dramas from those guys trying to keep you out of the disaster area?
The only thing I saw from FEMA was one empty truck. Now, the National Guard, they were there. Mm-hmm. They were kind of trying to direct traffic, closing roads off and trying to funnel things. But for FEMA supposedly involved, I was in Burnsville and Spruce Pine. I didn't see one FEMA at all.
Yeah.
So there was really no presence from FEMA whatsoever, other than when I turned the TV on.
Yeah.
I would.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, of course they're going to be there, right? I don't think Governor Cooper has done anything as well. The North Carolina resources are the best that I know. The Guard still really isn't employed like they should be. I do know North Carolina Highway Patrol has been flexing, some people from around the state to help out with traffic and all that other stuff because, I-40's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that section of highway missing. Years to get that fixed, right? So that's going to be a huge impact, for people trying to traverse east and west across the country. But it's just, here's the part that amazes me. My hat's off to you and all the other people the civilians that mobilized to go out there to help their fellow citizens, right? We kind of expect that, hey, the federal government will help out, state government at these, state of emergency. It was all civilians mobilizing. It to me, an incredible level to get supplies out there. I know we kind of talked earlier. You said the supply warehouse was empty that morning, refilled that day with just, the people coming in.
That was the thing I thought, because if trying to follow where you feel God's directing you to go, you know, we're human, right? So we'll go, and then we kind of take a couple steps, and we're like, is this right? Am I doing this right? Right? And so you're looking for confirmation,
right?
And when I went down there, it's all the actual supplies that I saw being moved was through Christian ministries. It was through private, and it was through the churches.
Yeah.
I did not see one thing from FEMA saying anything about supplies or help. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And so when I started to go down there and I dropped the food off, the warehouse itself on the outside was completely full of people dropping things off, and I was like, man, this is so heartwarming. This is great to see. And I said to the lady, I was like, this is really cool. You guys should have a good amount of supplies. And she looked at me cold, and she goes, oh no, this was empty this morning. And
oh wow,
this is all today. And she goes, normally right now we're emptying out of everything that we have, and people are just coming to donate and filling it back up every day.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. And the thing that I caught that she explained to me was because these people still need help and they're still trapped. At least 2/3 of the place after almost 2 weeks now is still unexplored, or people are not getting there to help these people. So the food banks are actually sending people out to help cut down the trees and clear the roads just to be able to get access to be able to give these people supplies.
Yeah.
And at that same day, FEMA went on there and said on TV, which, you know, that's the only place they are, was, we're officially out of recovery.
Yeah.
We're in resupply phase.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around going, maybe we have two different universes we're looking at right now, because that is not what I'm seeing.
No. And you have people trying to construct 2x4 bridges just to get some foot traffic across,
Yes.
you know, some of these creeks and other things that they've got no way to get there by vehicle. It's either foot, you know, some type of ATV, something like that, or horseback. You know, people are being very innovative, and it's absolutely amazing.
If that goes to show, though, you know, the part that I take out of that is government can't do what people could do for themselves and do for each other, right?
No.
And God stepping in and helping materialize a lot of different help efforts is amazing to see, you know, especially as a Christian. But just being able to see, like, and obviously, you know, you don't have to be a Christian for God to help you, right? And him being able to bring everybody together to kind of, I was seeing caravans of skid steers. I was seeing caravans of just people in ATVs. There were people donating everything that they could. You know, it wasn't a supply thing. I mean, everywhere I went, there were places that were signs that were saying hot showers, free supplies, free diapers. It was heartwarming in that sense, right?
Let me ask you something. Where do you think, since you've been there in a firsthand account, how much worse would it have been had folks like yourself and these ministries and just humans from the United States bringing that stuff down there? Where would we be at this?
Day one still.
Yeah.
Literally day one.
Yeah.
I appreciate, you know, and I will give the Army, you know, the National Guard their credit. Some of the main roads, I was watching them clear the main highways, right? And that's great. I'm glad that they're doing that. But if they're clearing a highway, they're blocking all of these side streets off that haven't even been fixed.
Right.
And when I got there, it was a week later, and there was one gas station that actually took a credit card. So everybody else was cash only still. So I got there on the tail end of them trying to fight through and kind of, you know, get basic necessities back up. And it was still completely private ran. It
still is.
Yeah.
It's still, to this day, it's still private citizens going out there helping citizens. And I think you hit two key points I got to hit. Number one, we the people. We the people helping we the people.
Absolutely.
Right? And then if you look at the other point you brought up, in God we trust, right?
Absolutely.
Two critical things I think that at this time of disaster, man, we rallied together as Americans. We got God behind us, and dude, we're making things happen.
Agreed.
Hey, FEMA, Governor Cooper, dude, you're about a waste. I doesn't say that because I repeatedly see him do nothing, and it's, to me, it's criminal. Should be wearing some silver bracelets.
I agree.
For the rubbish he's doing. So
they're turning around doing absolutely nothing and then accusing others of the very thing they're doing, so that it's like this political, toxicity kind of thing where if I accuse you of cheating, then you're not going to see that I am.
Yeah.
It's that same mentality.
Yeah, and they're going to use that platform to take as much credit for everything that folks like yourself have done. But I think in this case, for sure, it's right there in front of everybody that they can see that the American citizens really stepped up.
At the heart, the North Carolinians know.
Yes.
And as power starts being regenerated, as we start getting cell services, guys start putting videos that we haven't even seen yet because they don't have the ability to post them. I think we're going to be absolutely just amazed at what some of these people survived during that catastrophic time.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm sure they're documenting. Everybody does nowadays, so we'll see that stuff.
Well, the video that just came out, I saw circulating a lot, was the helicopter coming over with the rotor wash, just ripping everything apart in Burnsville. I was there.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right.
Yeah, and I have not. There has not been one incident that I saw where I was like, "Man, I'm really glad FEMA's jumping in."
Yeah.
It just wasn't. They weren't even present.
Thank goodness those folks are here, right?
Yeah. Thanks for your $750.
Right.
And obviously we can give $200 million to Lebanon or wherever.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I guess they came out and said that they rated the SBA budget to be able to fund Lebanon. So you can do that for Lebanon, but you can't do it for our own people.
Yeah.
It's delusional.
They don't want to. Right, by design, they don't want to help.
Absolutely
help our citizens.
And the thing that I really feel for is these people lived in the mountains. Nobody would ever want to actually say, "I'm going to spend extra money on flood insurance because I live on the top of a mountain."
Right.
So obviously, there's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be another Hawaii thing where a lot of people are going to lose a lot of homes for nothing that, frankly, should have happened. And you can say conspiracy theories and label it that, but I urge everybody, use your brain, see what's in front of you, and make your decisions off of what you see and not what other people are trying to influence you to think. There's a big difference.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and I think that's a huge point. Americans need to wake up, kind of get things from multiple sources, make your own decisions, especially when we got a critical point coming up in our election here. Vote smart people, right?
Good versus evil. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it.
Oh, it's 100%.
That. You can say good versus evil. You can say freedom versus communism. I mean, there's a bunch of ways we can
potato. Yeah,
we can skin this cat. But I'm gonna kind of shift gears a little bit, right?
Sure.
So super on that. Let's talk about you, C&G. What you've got? I know you've got your Gen 6 holsters.
Yes. Yeah, we've been really fortunate. We're opening up a new shop. We're kind of expanding. We have a private training center now that we're working with local law enforcement so they can start to use. We have a place for the K9 guys to train too.
Awesome.
It's just I spent 12 years on the job, and they're a great. I have a very dysfunctional, toxic love for law enforcement.
I think we all do.
Oh yes, we do.
Yeah.
And so making sure that the guys have a place to train,
right?
And there's there's obviously no politics involved. There's no nothing. All they got to text and say, "Hey, I'm using the range today," and they can go do what they want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, God's done a great job with us and really worked a lot of ways. So we figured with us expanding and the team's growing exponentially that I'm so grateful for, we need to have a product that I felt really led the way as far as engineering, as far as the things that we do well, when it comes to quality. And we sat down and we kind of went over every different version that we had over the years. What did we like? What did we improve on? What do we still need to improve on? And we kind of bring that all together into the most complete package that we could to be able to present to everybody.
Yep.
So, obviously red dots are the big thing now. Everybody wants those.
Yep.
Compensators, everybody wants those too. So, how do we essentially allow them to put whatever as you would say, whiz bang and do thingy onto it.
Gizmos.
Yeah, accoutrements. I love that word.
Accoutrements.
When you first said that stuck with me.
Accoutrements, yeah.
So how do we accommodate them for all of that, right? And also, obviously the whole point of a holster is to help save their life. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to buy, a Dodge Challenger and put spare tires on it.
Yeah. No.
Right. So if you're going to buy a firearm and train with it, obviously being functional is the optimal thing. Mm-hmm. That has to be. And then how do we have durability, functionality, and then aesthetics?
Yeah.
Right. So how do we make all of that work and blend? And we felt we pretty much hit the nail on the head with the Gen 6 line.
Yeah, so for the listeners, sorry you miss out. For the viewers, I know, Chris, you got a couple holsters there, right? So in the waistband, talk to us a little bit, like what's some things that you guys have done or found with that to kind of push it to that Gen 6 level?
So this is our Alpha line here. So this is the high-end line is what we use it for. It's called our Alpha. And some of the things we did was we decided to start making our own clips because the stuff on the market now is good, and it's very good. But a lot of guys were talking about it eating their belt and being too hard to get on and off. So how do we design it so that it comes off when we need it to come off? Because we're going inside, we're done for the day or whatever, even if we have to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Right? But how do we make sure it stays on at the same time? So we kind of redid the design and revamped the design a little bit. We stick with the spring steel because that's obviously, I think that's the most durable product. But we designed our own C&G clips with it, and then we designed our own wing as well. The thing I liked about the wings that everybody uses is it'll rotate the gun into the body to help conceal, right? But it also creates hot spots when you do that because it's not contouring with the body. So Tom and I from Dark Star, we got together and we created the dark wing. And we have a light wing version for the light bearing, so that's where the names come from. But what this does is this actually conceals it on two different axes. It'll rotate the gun into the body, but it'll also rotate it to contour with the curves of the body as well. So it helps you in concealment. And then one of the other problems that we felt a lot of holster manufacturers were kind of come up against was when you use the wing, you create these hot spots that start to dig into the body. So some guys would, put these big felt thingies on the bottom, and that's fine if that works for them. But we looked at it like we could do a little bit better with that. So how does that contour to the body? How do we encourage it to sit the right way? And how do we support it while it's sitting on the body so it doesn't create those hot spots? And you just feel that nice, complete pressure of it sitting up against you. So the ride is a lot better. So we decided to add this wedge in the back is what we call it. The concealment wedge actually works in conjunction with the Alpha system. So the way that it runs, it's a complete package and it encourages it to sit in a more concealed, comfortable way.
Yep.
And then along the way, we noticed that with working with Kydex, because we work with Kydex, not any of the other ones, because it's actually, Kydex is 10% higher impact strength than all the other ones. So obviously, we felt it was the best product, so we stuck with it. And then working with it and molding it over the years, there's different things that we were learning that would actually create the product to thin a little bit. So, and obviously, if you're going to upgrade the thickness like we did, it really makes no sense to thin it out when you're trying to manufacture it, right? Because you're just kind of getting to the same place that you were. So, understanding that in a design sense of how to work with it, we made a little bit of changes, and that's why we have some of these little bumps that you see that kind of break up some of the lines. Because we realized that if you have everything on a hard 90 on from three or two different directions, it creates a little bit of a problem for it. So how do we get the gun to float in the holster so it hits what we want it to hit, and it secures it the way we want to secure it, but it doesn't wear it down unnecessarily, and it keeps the integrity of the gun at the same time. That was the balance that we thought we hit whenever we hit the insides.
I like it.
And then, we have our standard covert that's available at we have over 400 dealers nationwide, so I'm sure that somebody's going to find something.
Right.
That they, find our products in their local gun stores.
Or they can always go to
cngholsters.com.
Right.
Bam.
Yes.
There it is.
Charlie Alpha, November Delta, Golf Alpha, RomeoMikeSierra.com.
There it is, man. Perfect. I like it. Phonetically correct. Bam. Awesome.
Radio protocol.
No, you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't spell it out, sometimes it's like a Warhog, right? People don't realize there's 2 G's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to spell it WARHOGGs.
Yeah, and if you're listening or watching, we'll have a hyperlink that you can just press in the bio or
Thanks,
the
guys.
show
We'll
notes.
take off. In case you're sitting there trying to write it down.
Yeah.
I don't know phonetic alphabet.
Yeah, if you're listening here, you'll be able to find his website.
You would be surprised how many times people look at it and go, canned arms? Canned holsters? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Close enough, right?
So you're trying to do that Google search. It's like, I got nothing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it looks great, and I really like that offset. You can see how it's going to really pull those hot spots away from the body. It just looks awesome too. It's a good looking holster. It looks rugged. Looks nice, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
it. You got the outside waistband as well.
Yeah, we do.
Same design or
it's same concept.
Yep.
So, we decided one of the problems that we saw, especially with the holster industry, is a lot of people don't have the capital or the time to really design the holsters from the ground up.
Yeah.
So people are looking for shortcuts to be able to help them, be profitable, which is understood. And with us having the ability that we have, we decided we were going to start from the bottom up. We were going to take the guns and we were going to create the guns, the holsters to feel and function the way we want to, not outsource it and have somebody make the mold for us and have somebody do this or that, or we buy the shells. So when we did that, we decided that we should be able to get the same exact fit and feel out of the insides as we do the outs. And a lot of guys were having problems with getting to tune the outs the right way. That's why you're starting to see a lot of the outside pancake style they start to go away. Because it's a lot easier to be able to get it to work like this.
Yeah.
And we decided to do the exact opposite. So when we make a gun, we make a holster, we make the outside first. And if we get the outside tuned exactly the way we want, then it is perfect for an inside. But a lot of times guys would do the inside and then try to make it do an outside, and all the little things that are very forgiving in that fold around style get amplified in this. So some of the other things that we do is a lot of guys will use rubber for everything, and it's fine. Rubber works very well. It's waterproof. But the problem with rubber is it gives you a memory. And you have to, when you're doing your kit maintenance, that's something you have to be cognizant of. I used to always unscrew them all the way out to allow the rubber to breathe for a night or two, just like your mags, right?
Right.
Like, same deal. So we decided we were going to upgrade, which is it wasn't cost effective, but I felt it was a better product, to all springs. So we use a stainless steel spring inside of all of the retention devices now. So that way it is 100% reliable, 100% the same.
Yeah.
And, I know there's a lot of different guys types of guys. There's, the GQ guys that want to have the Lego kits to put their holster together, right? I'm a little bit more of a knuckle dragger with it. Like, I just want to take it out of the package and slap it on and do a little tweak to make it to me and just let me go train. I don't, I'm not concerned with the gear so much. I know as a holster company owner, I shouldn't be saying that. But I want the gear to function 100% because I want to focus on the training, not on the gear itself. Yep. So, how do we balance all of that? How do we give, how do we kind of take care of everybody the best way we can without compromising us?
Yeah. Oh,
awesome, brother.
Awesome, brother. Yeah. Looks good.
Man, love to see, especially from the firearms industry, right? Nothing worse than not seeing companies trying to improve, get a little better, right? So the old mantra here at On the Range Podcast, 1% better every day.
Yes.
Brother, you're doing that and more, right? So
God has put a lot of great people like you guys in my life.
Thanks, Brian.
So it really isn't me. It really is like, if you're following God's path, you're unstoppable.
There you go.
Yeah,
I agree,
really
brother.
that simple.
100%.
Great seeing you again, pal.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thank you very much.
Chris, appreciate it.
You going to close it out, buddy?
Always, man. Viewers, listeners out there, guys, appreciate all your support. You guys train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.